Hello, everybody. How you all doing today? Get that hand out of the way. What's up? So today, I think we're going to be doing the, as in the title, the Hildibrand and the Omega Quest line. I've already looked up where they start. So without further ado, let's go. And I think I'm going to start with Hildibrand first. Was in Gaza. Yes, right here. Excitable youth. The sleeping gentleman. Wait, I know you. We met in Kugane. You're that stone-cold killer I asked to look after the love of my life. What's that look for? Surely you haven't gone and forgotten me. You and me, we had a moment, a connection. Not like the one I've got with her, of course, but I know I left an impression. I mean, this is true, but this is also way more true. I'm gonna go with this. The creepy little bastard who smells like cheese and followed Nashi to Kugane after stalking her for over 5 years? Hey, there's nothing creepy about my love. Pure and pristine, pure as the participant. I can't speak. It's as pure as the pristine waters of a forest stream. Fair point about the cheese stink, though. But enough about me. It's about Miss Nashu. Ever since she got stuck in that weird portal back east, I've been scouring the world for any sign of her. I was this close to giving up, but then, huzzah! I found her here in Razat-Han. Normally, I'd be happy to get back to playing the silent invisible guardian, but she seems pretty distressed by the plight of her inspector friend. He's here too, but laid up and showing no signs of waking anytime soon. My Nashu has been fashioning all sorts of medicines and rousing him, but to no avail. I mean, I couldn't care less if he kicks the bucket, but I hate seeing her like this. She's liable to work herself to death. Now what say you? You deliver my dearest Nashu from her plight? I'll find her over at the, We'll find her over at the High Crucible, no doubt slaving over in... Elambek? Not quite sure about that one. With that, I'll get back to cheering her on from the shadows. You too, I guess. Now go. Quickly. Save my beloved. I'll be honest, I honestly kind of forgot about that Lalafell. Sleeping gentleman. I need to spend on my crafting allowances. Did I really just... Oh my goodness, I'm dumb. Ignore me. Holy crap. I mentioned Kugane for some reason. I thought I was going to be in Kugane. Yet I still clicked Razat-Han. Goes to show the brain power at work here. That should do it. Now, to take this medicine and... Ruck! It feels like it's been forever. Though definitely less than a year, I'm sure. What brings you to Razat-Han? Enjoying a spot of adventuring? Or perhaps... Then you've heard true. Then you've heard. It's true. Dr. Hildibrand's gone into hibernation again, and... Ah, wait. You're giving me that look. One that screams, what about the whole weird portal business? Alright, since you silently asked. So, back on the Ruby Sea, remember how Greg got doused with the to Prism and was forced to whisk us all far away. How strange that... How... I can't speak, I apologize. How that strange rift then opened up, which the inspector had then got sucked into, and how I followed after him. That's not exactly what it is. Well, after that, we all ended up in this bizarre place. Couldn't tell up from down, left from right. So we wandered, lost and Fortunately, Greg came to his senses and explained that we were in the interspectral rift, and then used the same trick to bring us home. Greg himself stayed behind, though. Something about a score that had to be settled. Not sure what that was about, but hey, you know Greg. Anyway, we're back now, but the grub is that the Inspector Hildibrand hasn't opened his eyes once. I know he needs his beauty sleep, but it's been an awfully long time, and we've got cases to solve. I've been trying my hand at apothecary stuff, seeing if I can't make something that'll get him up and moving, but nothing seems to have worked. But I think we're making progress. Me and Minister Oh, yeah, I always called him Minister Chupacabra from the concern. That is. You remember Mr. Chupacabra, right? Got sucked into the griff along with us. Former evil mastermind, not so bad once you get to know him. There you are. I am pleased to make your acquaintance once more, and under less compromising circumstances. If I may correct our mutual friend, I am Dubaraka, chairman of the Sajata. I suck at pronouncing names, so everyone's just gonna have to bear with me here. Your distasteful and somewhat bloodthirsty glare is not unwarranted. But in my defense, who among us has not contemplated enslaving the rich and powerful to bend the world to their whim? I mean, to be fair, I have as well, so I can't fault you. I pray you forgive my poor joke, but allow me to assure you that after wandering the interdimensional rift, where the sisters only know how long, I'm a changed man. Naturally, I understand that words alone will not suffice to absolve me of my sins. Thus, since my return, I have opened a humble apothecary that caters to the needs of one and all. Furthermore, I have made arrangements for Miss Nashu's shop. Rest assured that I will spare no effort in helping her see Inspector Hildibrand awakened and returned to health. I almost said spare no expense. I'm excited for Jurassic Park. And with that, if you excuse me, I must see to other business. Yeah, get out of here. Oh, there's that look. Isn't he the nicest ex-villain you've ever met? Ah, but that's right, I had just finished my latest medicine. I've got high hopes for this new recipe. I suppose I ought to get a look at the Manderville man himself. By all means, the inspector is resting in the room up in Kama. Awake or asleep, I'm sure he'd enjoy your company. Let's go. Also, my plan is to stream around 2 hours, with how long I'm fumbling around my words. If this goes further than that, I might cut off Omega, depending on how long the Hildibrand quests are. Then we'll do that another time. But I'm hoping that's not the case. Am I going again? Oh, yeah. Come on. And again, I'm sorry you have to listen to me stutter over my words. I think after how long I've been reading these things, I could do it right. But no. There's the man. A Manderville man. Alright. Isn't this room nice? Mr. Chupacabra's taking good care of everything. Even paid rent in full. Ah, but I'm distracting you, aren't I? You need to concentrate while you examine the inspector, yes? Study the sleeping Inspector Hildibrand. Well, study him, alright. Ah, yes, a leg. The exquisite buckles of the stylish footwear are designed unique to the House Manderville. These shoes would almost certainly fetch a small fortune in the markets. Rippling muscles speak impressive strength, while smooth skin suggests that only the rarest of occasions does the man resort to violence. Troublingly, his limbs are stiff and cool to the touch, as if the blood runs cold in his face. Rugged features belie what is, at closer glance, the sensitive mem of a cultured gentleman. I'm not quite sure. Well, he still breathes. He appears to be locked in deep. Spectre's condition is disturbingly reminiscent of the Scions who were summoned to the First. It is. I happen to have the pleasure of seeing him in the Hero's Gauntlet. Okay, it didn't take me that long to look at the man. Oh? Finished already? Any theories on what's wrong with the Inspector? Abso-freaking-lutely. Well, he's a soulless husk, which is less than ideal. Keyboard off my lap. It's hot in this. Making it hotter. I see. I mean, I don't. But that's what you're supposed to say at times like this. I know that much. How do we wake him up? Return a soul to his body? But where did it go? And what is it doing there? Probably went to the First to become the Gentleman of Darkness. As you do. Does. Not wrong. Oh. I see. Right. So can you go there? Head nod. Great. In that case, I'll leave the soul searching to you. I'm sure it goes without saying, but once you've arrived in this otherworldly world, look for a place that smells of mystery and intrigue. Chat with the people there. That's standard agent. That's standard agent of inquiry protocol. Oh, and since this is Inspector Hildibrand we're talking about, don't be surprised if you see him asleep or having forgotten a thing or two. But not to worry, I've prepared my traditional medicine just in case. Don't hesitate to use it, and with that, do take care out there. Is it bombs? Yes, it is, thank God. Nashu's Delight. A potent explosive whipped up by Nashu with the power to jog one's memories. As it does. Mysterium. And I was so sad when the Hildibrand quests didn't show up in Shadowbringers. But we've got them now, so I suppose that's what matters. Of course, the tavern, where you always go to inquire information. Welcome back, friend. I'd offer you a pint, but my barman sense tells me that's not why you're here. Not. So this friend of yours has gone missing? Sorry to hear about that, but plenty of travelers pass through these parts. Can you describe the fellow to me? A Hume. Burly. Wears a monocle. Well-meaning idiot. Yes, that sounds familiar. Mind you, I didn't see him myself. But I do believe one of our bounty hunters spied such a man when you were all battling the horde of spectral warriors. Yeah. Yeah, come here for a minute. There's someone who wants to speak with you. That so? Make it quick. This ale ain't gonna drink itself. If it ain't Krupp, what brings you to our neck of the woods? Now that you mention it, I did see someone like that. Back there on the battlefield after you ran off to do more hero work. At first I thought he was going to attack me like the rest of the spirit... or... Whatsits? Oh, the spirit Whatsits. But no, he just stood there, striking a pose, trying to scare or seduce me. Damned if I could tell. Still, he was glowing, and I wasn't about to take any chances, so I said, "Hey, piss off, ghost," and sent him packing. That's how I deal with ghosts. Did he die, you ask? Which is to say, what am I, a Kyurgeon? Also, I've kept my mug waiting long enough. Good talk. Could it be the Warrior of Darkness? Oh, these two, I slightly remember you. I thought that was your voice, but was convinced my ears were playing tricks on me. Good to see you again. Didn't mean to eavesdrop, but we overheard you discussing the renegade poser. We've been searching for him for some time now. Really now? There have been sightings in Lakeland, you see. Bonnard and I have been tasked to getting to the bottom of it. With getting to it. We've little in way of useful information, though. All we know is that he appears without warning and strikes a disturbing pose. Not caused any harm. You discount the shock of a strange man just gesticulating in your general direction, that is. Nevertheless, we're worried his behavior might escalate. Have you been tasked with apprehending this miscreant as well? Nah, he's my friend. Not quite, Bonnard. Buck's come back to track down his missing friend. Your miscreant, I regret to say, might be my friend. Like when your friend drinks too much and you're just like, up. If the men you're looking for might be one and the same, then why not work together? Between the three of you, you're bound to have better luck. What do you say? It would be an honor, and a great help. We were just about to leave to gather testimony, as it were, or as it happens. Come and join us to Sullen. You're finished here. We'll solve this mystery in no time. Sullen, that's fishing village if I remember correctly. Close. Wait, no. Port job's closer, I think. Wait, no, it's not. Oh well, it doesn't matter. They're both kind of far away. And it's been a while since I've gone to Lakeland. Or at least it feels like it. Of course it's raining. The last time I came here was doing treasure maps, and that was a while ago. Everybody's, what's the word I'm looking for? What's everybody's opinion on Shadowbringers versus Endwalker? I'm not sure if I like Shadowbringers more or not, to be honest. They're both really close. A sullen elder. You sad? You sad old man? Oh, that fellow? I saw him the other day on the way home from Clearmelt. I'd enjoyed one too many liberations after my bath, and ended up wandering off into the forest. Before I knew it, the sun was dipping low and the sky turning dark. I was beginning to wonder if I'd ever make it home. Then I felt a gentle tug at my arm. Would you believe it? This odd-looking man led me out of the forest and set me back on the road. I thanked him profusely. He said nothing in reply. Just struck this pose and walked off. That sounds like our inspector. I hate finding NPCs. I'm no good at it. That villager. Did I see him? Bet I did. I was crossing the forest of the Lost Shepherd and on my way to deliver fish to Ostal Imperative. Out of nowhere, this odd man leapt in front of me. I thought he was a bandit at first, but then he abruptly turned to his side, curled his neck, and put his fist to his head as if to say, I don't know. It was baffling. I ran when I realized he wasn't going to do anything else. I can see how that would be kinda a little definitely terrifying. And sad lady. Why, yes, I saw someone like that when I was out picking mushrooms in the forest. He even spoke to me. I was repulsed at first by his form, but he only wanted to warn me that fell beasts lurked in the forest, that I should be wary. Contrary to appearances, I'd say he was actually quite gentlemanly. I don't know how to feel about people saying that Hildibrand looks hideous. Finished questioning the locals, have you? Were you able to learn anything? Also, sorry, I like to move my camera a lot. Not only that the pauser caused no harm, that he even helped people. But he's a gentleman, albeit a suspicious one. Something of a contradiction, you might say, but there's no reason to doubt what we heard. Everyone seems to have counted him in the forest of the Lost Shepherd, right? That's where we'll look next, shall we? We shall indeed. I just ominously stare at the lady walking away. It's Forest of the Lost Shepherd. Already people here, would you look at that? Better sound of it. Well, here we are. But how exactly are we supposed to begin our search? These woods are, well, woods. Ah, yes, the classic "these woods are made of wood" argument. I would have never thought. Anyway. Leave it to me. Got a plan, do you? Far be it from me to doubt the Warrior of Darkness. Show him what you've got in mind. Show us what you've got in mind. We'll back you up to the best of our ability. What do I have in mind? Of course. Why didn't I picture that? I should have thought about that ahead of time. Oh, know what to do. Perform the Manderville Mumbo. Gotta love the sound effects. They're like, what the fuck? Pose. It stopped raining. How long have we been doing this? Friggin' daytime now. Hark! What familiar gentlemanly gyrations are these? Why does he have angel wings? What the f- Oh, he's got that old makeup on too. God damn it. I was gonna say, if I didn't know any better, he looks like a senior. Okay, I take it back. The other person was right. He is kinda terrifying right now. Never mind. I spoke. On your guard, it's a Sin Eater. No, wait, that's no Sin Eater. Yep, that's a gentleman. An ugly one, but a gentleman. It's the Gentleman of Light! Actually, that might cause a misunderstanding, but... Gentleman of Light? Who is this Gentleman of Light you speak? I am the Forgiven Gentleman, Devourer of Sins, Light Warden Extraordinaire. You really want me to kill you, don't you? You're not a Sin Eater. You're Hildibrand, Gentleman Inspector. You might have occasionally moonlighted as a zombie overlord, but trust me, you're the Gentleman Inspector. Oh yeah, Inspector, Sin Eater, Inspector, Sin Eater! You're the bombs. You're acquainted with this, gentleman? Not in this room. Right, then. Clearly your friend has been through a lot. But still, how did he get it in his head that he's a Sin Eater? Is there no way of bringing back his memories? There is. Oh yeah. That's gonna, like, trigger him. Explosives? We're trying to save him, right? I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Bam! Right in the face. Please. Oh, nope. Really send it back to... Oh, we're playing volleyball. Okay. Hell yeah. Spike that shit. Oh, this is great. He hit him so hard his clothes turned from white to black. Wicked White! We've killed him! No, 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 no. He's pretty hardy. You good now? I say, Crook! I'd resign myself to Nashi's ungentle methodology, but you too, my brutish friend? But never mind that. I do not recall the world being quite so purple. Hey, it's pretty as fuck. Previously, I was with Nashu and Greg wandering the bazaar. The bizarre shadowy realm known as the interspectral rift. Messing up that word. Oh, Echo. Oh right, they're Warriors of Light too, I forgot. We're actually gonna see this as well. There he is. Hmm? Where am I? Who am I? Creepy as hell. Thickening light. That aggressive posturing. I know what you are. You're one of them, ain't you? What you need is a good old-fashioned dwarven decking. Piss off, ghosts! Good job, Git. Still there. An eater. Surprised it's not trying to eat him, but... This feels so disturbing, and I don't know why. Oh god, the butt shake. Even scaring the Sin Eater. Holy shit. God, an ass that'll make a Sin Eater run. Run for your lives, the Sin Eater! In here? I don't understand why that made you think you were a Sin Eater, but hey. Each their own, I suppose. I'll be damned. I saw a vision of the man's past. No wonder he became convinced he was a Sin Eater. Really, though? Really? I saw it, too. It was, quite possibly, the most ridiculous memory I've ever glimpsed. Yeah, you get used to that. Answer me, my faithful assistant. Where are we? Why is it so purple? First? First what? Are you telling me we somehow traveled to an entirely different world? That is indeed what I'm saying, my guy. I never use the term my guy. Good gods, to think that I had transcended the very boundaries of time and space. But worry not, my adoring fans. Hildibrand, the agent of inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, will return to you forthwith. Noticed it went from raining and dark, bright and sunny, to raining to dark again. Hildibrand, what says you? Soulful reunion. While I've enjoyed what time I've spent in this far-flung first that I can remember, we should be getting back to our own world soon. Would you happen to know how we might go about doing that? Decklug, probably. Restore my soul with a spirit vessel? Say no more. Your cursory description was more than enough for me to grasp the concept entirely. It is not unlike brewing a perfect cup of tea, or coffee. Why did I say tea? Which means our task is clear. We require the service of a skilled soul sommelier. I know a soul sommelier named Decklug. Might as well play into his delusion. Splendid! I see that even in this world, your shoulders rub with the cream. Let us pay this Decklug a visit. I'm not sure what you're plotting to do with souls, but if you require Decklug's assistance, we can help. Aye, they've aided us time and again, and I reckon they do the same for your friend here. Come with us to the Cabinet of Curiosity. Back to the Crystarium we go. God, I missed the stupidity of the Hildibrand quests. Absolute madness. Also, excuse me, but, sorry, had to burp. If I heard it. I keep forgetting which button on my keyboard is the mute button. If you're ready, I'll call Decklug. Speaking of drink, I'm gonna take a little. Ah, the genius soul sommelier. You've come highly recommended by Kruk. What an adorable little puppy you have. Oh my goodness. Oh, what? Puppy? I beg your pardon, but there seems to be some confusion. Puppy? Who is this imbecile, Kruk? I've half a mind to dig him a hole so I can... half a mind to make him dig a hole so I can throw him in it. But, presume he's a friend of yours, and one in need no less? Yeah, he's kind of an idiot, but he means well. What? Another one of your friends needs to be sent back to the source? Have you forgotten how complex and difficult it was to do the first time, or the last time? Yet you waltz in here and ask me this favor with the air of one shopping for a new hat? This case is no different from the others, at least. He is present only in soul, as they were. You'll need another spirit vessel, of course. You don't happen to have one already, do you? I should. Trusted you by the Exarch, you say? If only he knew how you were using it. Fortunately, I have a porksy at hand. I've been using it to treat patients at risk of transforming into eaters, but I suppose it's due for a change of pace. There is, however, one concern. In case I didn't make it clear before, the process can place great strain upon one's soul. If he is lacking in resilience, there is a chance he will not survive, that his very essence will be rent asunder. Well, to be fair, If there is a man more resilient than the Manderville man, I do not know him. After what he's lived through, it would be implausibly anticlimactic for him to die like that. Ah, Crook knows me all too well. I assure you, my good sommelier, who is most certainly not a dog, you needn't worry for Hildibrand, Heliodor Maximilian Manderville. Yes, I get the distinct impression that the gods themselves could not kill him if they tried. And they have. Come along, then. Hilda, I can't be bothered to remember that name. Thanks 1,000. Simply point me to the soul siphon and I shall hop right in. The rest of you can wait here. I promise I won't hurt him, no matter how much I might be tempted. And you can hurt him a little. He has it coming. You'll be pleased to know that the process went smooth and was as smooth and uneventful. Honestly, I was hoping for more of a challenge. All you need to do is take his spirit vessel back to the source and bring it in contact with his corporeal body. He should awaken immediately with his soul and memories intact. Thank you, Backlog. If there's nothing else, Bonard and I should be getting back to our duties. It was a pleasure, Cook, if all too brief. I won't pretend I understood even a fraction of what happened, but I'm glad I was there for it. Till we meet again, rest assured that Sailor and I will be doing our damnedest to look after people here in your absence. I hope so, they're your people. Can't expect the warrior light to do all the work. Backlog? And back to Ratatan. I'm actually kind of worried about doing the Omega quests because it's been since Stormblood since I had any interaction with that storyline, and I'll probably be forgetting some very important details. Oh, his body's gone. Well, that's a damn shame. You're back, and not a moment too soon. We have an emergency on our hands. Spectre's soul is in this, you say? That's great, but we have another problem now. Spectre's body has gone missing. Sorry. Keep almost burping here. We went to the markets to do some shopping, and when we came back, he was nowhere to be seen. I double-checked every last door that was locked. I double-checked that every last door was locked before we left. There's nothing to suggest that someone forced their way in. We've got a case on our hands. Case of the evaporating inspector. Must begin our investigation at once. Come on, let's start looking for witnesses. Do I see anyone getting carried out of that house, you ask? I was too distracted with stock-taking, make note of any comings or goings. Sorry I couldn't be more help. I didn't see anyone carrying a person out of the house, no. But I did see a man carrying a particularly large sack, so heavy he strained to lift it. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now that you mention it, it was a bit suspicious. Okay. I love the Ratatan theme. Ah, there you are. This man says he has vital information that will help us in our investigation. I don't like that mask you got on. Wait, you're what's-his-face, aren't you? A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Delion, editor of the Chief of the Thavnarian Truth, monthly publication devoted to explore the unexplained and otherworldly phenomena of our isle. Your companion shared with me the news of your friend's disappearance, and I happen to know precisely who is behind the incident, but I fear you may not like the answer, for the kidnapper is not of this star. They come from the heavens, from beyond the great expanse. They descend in curious saucer-shaped airships to study our world, our society, our buildings, our very bodies. Oh no, it's Ancient Aliens frickin' Thavnir edition. But shudder! You shudder, no doubt, as you realize of whom I speak. It couldn't be, you protest. Oh, it could, and it is. Your dear friend the Inspector has been abducted by aliens! Oh, but he'll be fine, you assure yourself. After all, they just want to understand us better. You poor diluted child. That they do. But to what end? Why else? That they might one day take over our world. I see what's-his-face in the background, too. I just noticed him. The Lalafell. What's worse, they plot to do so with the aid of collaborators. For the Charlians are in league with our would-be overlords, providing the aliens with vital information on our vulnerabilities in exchange for a position of power within their regime. Oh, so it's the Lulprits. I got it. The final days was also the work of these alien invaders. They attempt to sow chaos that our world would be easier to conquer. Blessedly, was thwarted, if only by dumb luck, as those that did the thwarting were blissfully unaware of the nature of the threat. I will punch you. I had hoped a setback would discourage the aliens from coming back, if not move them to abandon their ambitions, but it would seem the events have only emboldened them. They are indeed carrying out abductions here in Razathan. Even as we speak, your friend lies prone on the sterile bed in their base on the surface of the moon, where they poke and prod him with inscrutable instruments as their floppy ears wiggle in fiendish delight. Ah, but I have said too much. I must continue my investigation in secret. The fate of our world is at stake. Oh no, that sounded awful. We have to go to the moon and save the Inspector at once. I think he was a few materia short of a full meld. Oh god, that's great. At least he got the floppy ears part right. I gotta take a drink of water. My throat is dry. Don't think the Inspector is somewhere getting probed by aliens? But if not them, then who's probing him? I mean, hopefully nobody, but... Man carrying a suspiciously large sack. That sounds promising. Maybe someone else can tell us more. Oh, he's not back here. Figured he wouldn't. Someone up ahead may have seen something. Let's ask around. What do you got to say now? Varga and his family are the nicest people. They've got such gentle eyes and long snouts. Too, longer than anyone ever met in Eorzea. Okay. So you refuse to acknowledge that they're elephant people. Man with the sack, indeed. I couldn't help but take note of him as he passed, trying so very hard to be inconspicuous as he was. He descended Alzadal's path, then went over to the fountain, where he met the merchant, I believe. With a merchant, I believe. Such a hefty sack it was, my mind was racing with all the possibilities of what it might contain. That had to be our man, right? To hunt him down, that merchant. Aw. Discuss the fountain. It's incredible, isn't it? It reminds me of the giant statue of Lord Godbert at the Gold Saucer. Once the inspector is back on his feet, we'll have to show him. And target the traveling merchant, please. Man with a large sack. Ha, you bet I saw him. In fact, I sold him my chocobo. At first, I told him to get lost. That bird and I go way back and so forth. But he was in a hurry and offered a very generous. His offer was very... When you're in my line of work, you can't afford to get too sentimental. And now I can buy a whole stable's worth of chocobo. Did he say where he was planning to go next? He was muttering something about having to go to Saltwind's Welcome in a hurry. Probably why he was so desperate for a chocobo. It's a long way to go on foot, never mind the sack. Hear that, Crook. We need to head to Saltwind's Welcome right away. Obviously it was Chupacabra that stole him, but... or someone working for him, you... Alright, the Ariman. No. Here we are, which means the mystery man with the mysterious sack should be near. Must be near. Keep your eyes peeled. Want to peel my eyes? That sounds like it would hurt. Over there, that man is definitely up to no good. Waiting for a co-conspirator? We should stay out of sight and watch what happens. We're pretty well in sight, but, you know, it's a Vidgear game. Of course she's following us. Yep, there's Chupacabra. Ah, Mr. Chupacabra. He expressly told us that he put his evil schemes behind him. He wouldn't lie, would he? Of course he would. Villains do it all the time. Goods appear to be no worse for wear. Very well. Your payment as... Now can I slice his head off? My client will post. Okay, I can't slice his head off. I need a client. What? That's that boss from the tower. Oh no, is he gonna feed the inspector that giant sea monster? Oh yeah, Dr. Suge or whatever. It is an honor and a pleasure as always, Doctor. I have faith the specimen will meet with your satisfaction. This is the one said to be the strongest, most resilient in all the world, the Manderville man. None other. He has weathered countless explosions and a multitude of martial abuses, including the devastating suplex I did witness myself. It is even said he survived a journey to Dalamud itself and survived the Lesser Moon's fall with nary a scratch. Most fortunately for us, he has fallen into a coma, from which I am assured he will never wake. You are free to do with his body as you... Hee hee hee! Even the mightiest of warriors can't fight while asleep. But I thought I killed you! Anyway. Those meddlers may have gotten the better of me and my beautiful boy in the Tower of Babel. But my next child will be all but invincible. This body of mine to command. With this body mine to command, I will exact a bloody and glorious revenge. Forgive me my boldest, Doctor, but when might I expect the rest of my payment? I have debts that must be repaid. Worry not, with the Telophore gone for good, the vast fortune of House Brutus is entirely at my disposal. I shall shower you with wealth, my loyal minion. I shall gladly accept the spoils, Doctor, and resolve never to renounce my wicked ways, for surely this time I will suffer no comeuppance. You say as I'm standing right here. Knock knock, my name is Comeuppance. Nickname Karma. No, not you, not now. Ah, I must away. Oi, I need that. Now I can chop his head off, because I know who his employer is. Wait, Doctor, look! My payment! Wake up, Inspector! I was gonna say, I think it's a running joke that she has quite the arm, but if I remember correctly, that's Caboose I'm thinking of. Red versus blue. I think my wires are getting mixed here. Could it be? World is no longer purple! Stop moving, damn you! You're supposed to be a comatose centerpiece of my glorious revenge. Did he hit a self-destruct button? Oh, no. Beep, beep. Mommy! There goes Hildibrand, blasting off again. Is he going to the moon? Would appear so. I said, but wait, Ether's supposed to lose its, yeah, effectiveness at a certain point of orbit. Not again! Please fall on the Doctor. Oh, nope, looks like he's aiming for us. Buttons. Beep. Yeah, you might want to... Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna hit something anyway. Yep. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. I love it. Oh, Doctor's dead. Or not. But a mysterious seagull stands on the Manderville. And he's back. I say, that was a rather drastic series of events to awaken to. But more importantly, after a brief detour, I find myself in my own world once more. My most sincere apologies for causing you such trouble, my loyal assistants. But rejoice, for Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, made his triumphant return. Oh, nope, he's actually being abducted by Loporits this time. Well, so much for your return, buddy. Swim faster. There you go. I saw that fucking Lalafell get pulled up again. Bonk. Bye, Loporits. Wait, Inspector! I guess, yeah, he is his own character. I knew it. Alien abduction. To think I would have a chance to witness it with my own eyes. This month's issue of the Thavnarian Truth shall be the best one yet. God, this is so silly, I love it. Just when I thought I finally had the Inspector back, off he went, and then came back, and then floated off again. What he does. Whew. I know it's not the first time he's taken to the skies without warning, but still, it's always a little disappointing. Still, no use crying over flying inspectors. Let us return to Grazat-Han. You mean that's gonna be the end of it for this pet? Oh, Inspector, why have you left me again? And where have you gone? No, this won't do. Get it together, Nashu. This is a case to be solved. Or there's a case to be solved. Just you wait, Inspector. Your loyal assistant Nashu will solve the mystery of your disappearance. Again. And don't worry, Kruk. As soon as I have a new lead, you'll be the first to know. Till next time. Bum, 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 bum. Meanwhile, in Mare Lamentorum. That's smarts. The hell is that? Looks like a Pikmin. I know, right? That's how I feel. So cute. Oh god, I forgot they have these credits type thing. With astute mind and oh, yeah, I'm not singing that. I'm sorry. I can't sing worth a damn. That's cute. Okay, so that one was done. Hour and 11 minutes. I'm definitely going to move on to the Omega stuff. But first, I need to take a short break. So, I'll be right back in a little bit. Alrighty, I'm back. Had to use the restroom real quick. So if I remember correctly, the Omega quests start in Charlian. Done by the... or it is, rather. Yep. Practical technician. A heartless hypothesis. That blows the cobwebs away. Time to return to work. Goodness me, look who it is. How incredibly serendipitous that I would run into you of all people. I was part of the team which designed the Ragnarok, you see. We've recently begun the process of combing through the vessel's flight log data. The primary objective of the journey to Ultima Thule was to save our star, and countless others, of course. But it also provided us with an invaluable trove of information, records of places and events that we could only dream of. Your safe return gave us much to be thankful for. As it so happens, one of the things we pulled from the logs was a transmission of unknown origin, something the ship must have intercepted during its flight. We believe it to be an audio message, but even our most knowledgeable scholars have been unable to decipher its content. Professor Krusha included. For a while there, it seemed we must accept defeat, but today may be the day we finally resolve the mystery. If you were so inclined, would you care to come along to Thamno's, the place inside the vault? Seems fitting to have one of the Ragnarok's original passengers present to hear history being made. Sorry, I butchered that. What quest is? I'll have to look at that another time. I could have just flown, but I was already there. Or correctly, there's no flight allowed in this place. Ah, there you are. This is where we're supposed to meet the engineers of Garland Ironworks, who, I am told, potentially hold the key to unlocking our mystery transmission. They should be along at any moment. Yay! Sid and them! Water break. Sorry we're late. We had some trouble finding the right... Gods, is that you, Kruk? Sid? Nope. Pigs. Yes, the man himself. I ran into him at the harbor and thought if anyone deserved to hear this message deciphered, it was Kruk Zed. No argument here, but bugger me if you don't have a knack for being in the right place at the right time. This actually has more to do with you than you might think, so please, do stick around. Shall we pick up from where we left off then? As I was saying, we think this transmission the Ragnarok intercepted is a message of some kind, albeit in a language entirely alien to our ears. Alien being the operative word. Considering we received the message out in the great expanse, its origin was likely some distant star. Fortunately, our list of off-world allies is presently rather short. Thus we were resigned to the fact that the meaning behind the message would remain beyond our understanding. That's where Alpha comes in. One of my colleagues, however, refused to give up. She remembered the Ironworks engineers who had been so helpful in the construction of the Ragnarok, turned to them for insight into our seemingly impossible task. You know what Wedge said when he heard what was going on? We should have Omega listen to him. I bet it can tell us what the message means. Not the Omega you beat in the Rift, of course. Talking about the toy that Turtles Brundles around with Alpha. The little model we made. We originally designed it to follow the chosen target and not much else, but I've seen it act in ways that, well, it's like it has a mind of its own. And then I got to thinking about those documents you lot sent the Chief, the full report on the final days. In the part about Omega civilization, it is said their people discovered how to convert the mind into data and store it outside the body. Timing being what it was, I wondered if Omega somehow didn't transfer its consciousness to our model right before you put an end to the real one. That'd be cool if it did. So, in an effort to get to the bottom of that, as well as to take a crack at this indecipherable message, we decided to make some modifications. With help from Labyrinthos technicians, we upgraded our toy Omega with a fully functional vocalization module. Play the transmission for Omega, and I think it's ready to share. Yeah, hi Alpha. There, Omega? Chicken. Adida. Affirmative. If by Omega you're referring to my consciousness rather than my entire former chassis, existing inside this considerably smaller frame. Yep, that's Omega. Prediction. You will formulate several misconceptions. These I shall preemptively dismiss based on the following facts. 1. Vocalization module aside, this chassis remains unmodified from the design constructed by the engineers Biggs and Wedge. I evaluate its combat capabilities on par with a mortal infant. 2. The mechanism which allowed me to perform an emergency transfer of my consciousness was installed in my previous body. With the destruction of that body, I am rendered incapable of replicating such. Should this current material form be destroyed or cease to function, all cognitive awareness or presence I possess will also be lost. Conclusion. I present no threat to you or your star, nor do my projections indicate the necessity to inflict harm. In the fraction of a moment before my annihilation, in the Rift, I re-examined my directives. If I am to fulfill my purpose as an evolving construct, then I must continue my journey for improvement as long as I exist. I must acquire this heart of yours, this strength of soul. Well, there you have it. And it's not wrong about its combat capabilities. It would be more likely to damage itself than the thing it was trying to attack. Let's not forget the reason we brought you here in the first place. What about the transmission they played for you? Could you recognize the language? Affirmative. It was translated in Pan-Galactic Basic. Pan-Galactic Basic? A common language in comparatively extensive usage throughout the worlds we have conquered. Which means you can finally tell us what the message said. That is a language you understand, yes? I understand it perfectly. I am fluent in over 6 million distinct dialect codings. But my cooperation in this matter, however, is conditional. Elaboration. Your Chief Sid utilizes the floor as part of this unorthodox filing system, which allowed me to scan their reports on the final days. I'm aware of my home star, the one you call Alphatron, was obliterated in the aftermath of Sir and Meteon's meeting. The existence of Dynamis has not previously factored into my projections, but now I comprehend the concept, in theory. What fails to compute is why the Omnicrons were not immune to its effects. Dynamis should have no influence on our race, possesses no heart. Yet, Sir expressed to Meteon a desire to cease existing. Illogical. I must pursue this anomaly further, until the full equation becomes clear to me. I must analyze all elements of the final days and deepen my understanding of the heart's intangible properties. To expedite this process, I will require an external interpretation of the section of the report which continued to produce errors in my calculation. Oh, I can't. I request the assistance of Cruxseed, as one who experienced the ravages of ultimate despair on multiple fronts, displayed immeasurable heart in engineering my defeat. He is the optimal choice to fulfill this role. So we either agree to your conditions or you tell us nothing. Sorry to put you on the spot like this, Kruk. If you have the time and the patience to hear, I'll be grateful if you could humor the toy's demands. Yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. Poor Alpha. Just like, nope, this is all above my pay grade, and I'm going to sleep. As Alpha dozed off, I suppose the subject was a bit technical. Oop, rouse yourself, Alpha. You must listen to and consider these matters, even as I must. Where? Why don't you make a trip out of it? You know, actually, visit the places that has things Omega wants to talk about. It'll make explaining stuff easier for one. It'll also help keep Alpha awake and alert. Like a plan to me. Drink time. If you're wondering why I'm taking so many drinks, it's because I'm not used to talking out loud this much. Okay, Omega! See, you've chosen a mutually beneficial option. Logical. Setting aside the matter of Sir, there are 3 elements of the report I which desire clarification. First of these concerns the progression of the final days in Razat Han. I recognize no pattern in which those who succumbed to the transformation and those who did not. That's a bit of a trick. If you wanted to chat with the locals, how about we lend you an airship? We do not require such outmoded technology. Kruk's teleportation spell is the most efficient option for long-distance travel. This chassis is a module, essentially a toy, and Alpha, by his organic composition, is distinguishable from a stuffed doll. Conclusion. We qualify as material possessions. Pick us up and you can teleport the 3 of us to your destination. Which are our destination. Yep. And to be fair, if I teleport, my party members get free teleports too. They're cool. As long as you guys are quote-unquote in my party, should be fine. At least in theory. You're just gonna say quit, aren't you? Quit. That was 2 more quests than I expected. What sensors indicate we have arrived in Razat Han. Objective: identify factors for resistant to involuntary transformation. Hypothesis: unaltered survivors of the final days will display significant strength of heart. Confirming this theory will require the cooperation of live subjects. Where is the word designed for residential habitation? That comma? Yep. Understood. Comma is our sub-destination. Please take the lead and select the subjects we are to interview. I guess they're gonna follow me. Cute! I gotta go a long way now, though. I don't remember if they can teleport or not. Just the stairs. Warning, please avoid stairs wherever possible. My projections indicate high risk probability of accidental slippage, leading to catastrophic structural damage. Steps inclined so as to increase my energy consumption by 36% or 63%. Wordle terms, they tire me out. Taking into account the difference of individual limb length, the design is inherently flawed. A convenient step height for one is an exhausting trial for another. If I were to oversee the civic design of this settlement, I would construct a sloped conveyor belt which enable automatic transversal. No personal energy expenditure. And you're gonna quack. Alpha chirps enthusiastically, apparently unfazed by the prospect of climbing stairs. Sorry, Omega. Gotta do what we gotta do. I'd carry you if the game would let me. Oh, not that. Oh, I'm not using Sprint. I'm just vibing. Oh, I forgot to summon my dude. I just questioned all these guys, and they were like, oh, another mystery you need to solve, huh? Melancholy man. Are you a traveler? Please, if you have a moment, I could use an outsider's perspective. See, I was one of those who sought to escape the madness plaguing the world by fleeing to the moon. Not that we ever went in the end. But here I am, reluctantly returned from Charlian. But now things are strained between my sister and I, since she chose to stay and I chose to leave. I asked her to help me find work, and she suggests I look somewhere that isn't Thavnir, as if I wanted to abandon my home. It makes me so angry. Blip, your point is unclear. You elected to relocate to the star's satellite, thus your relative now perceives you in a negative light? Your sibling's judgment is in error. Based on the information made available to Hannish citizens, your decision to withdraw to the moon was both logical and correct. Conversely, the decision to remain in Oratzahan, despite the low probability of survival, defies explanation. Perhaps her reasoning pathways are faulty. That's right. I'm not quite sure what you're saying, but I'm right, aren't I? Or so I like to think. The problem is, I understand why my sister feels that way. I almost decided against going myself. Even then, I wasn't sure that leaving everything behind, everything I loved, was the right choice. With the way it all turned out, I'll be honest, you were both right to do what you wanted to do in that point. Hello again. I'm sure you're the one who came to ask me questions about Khazal. I'm glad you see... Wow, I can't speak. And one moment. Cool, I finally remembered my mute button. Oh, hello again. You're the one who came to ask me questions about Khazal. I'm glad to see you looking well after all that unpleasantness. Virtue's right in my face. I remember the burning skies and hearing the screams, but truth be told, I'm still confused as to what actually happened. I only know it wasn't usual for entire families to go missing. Many of my neighbors' houses lie empty now. Khazal's place is one of them. He had no close relatives to speak of, and I heard that it was members of the consortium who came to remove his belongings. What a terrible thing to do. But terrible? Khazal's passing was recorded in the report, clearing out his domicile and readying it for new habitations, appropriate reallocation of resources. Dear me, what a clever little contraption. But of course I'm not against making use of his quarters, that would be wasteful. It's simply that Khazal was always such a vigorous person, all that passion, all those dreams, suddenly gone. I feel the same sorrow for everyone who was lost. Seeing the remnants of those vibrant lives packed away in boxes. That is what I meant by terrible. And yeah, I can see that. Urine boy. Hey, I don't know you. Oh, hey, don't I know you? Yes, after the beasts were taken care of, you told me to join everyone in the square. Thanks to you, I was there when Vitra gave his speech, and I found out who Varshan really was. It's a shame we don't get to play like we used to, but Mama says Vitra is busy putting the city back in order. Maybe I can work for him one day, when I'm a grown man. Vitra, Guardsworm's offspring, yes? This child wishes to put himself at the worm's command that he might make his own contribution to society. A pattern emerges. I predict the Hunnish survivors are those who had ingested Vitra's blood and became his draconic minions. No, Omega, that's not what happened. Hold on. Sorry. The dragons were no match for our civilization's might. Their combat capabilities are not to be underestimated. It is unlikely they would experience emotions of dread or uncertainty as exhibited by lesser beings in times of undue distress. Dragons? I'm not a dragon, and I've never ingested anyone's blood either. You. You are not of Vitra's horde? Do you possess no hidden meaning of fight? You possessed no hidden means to fight off the beast? What a fear, then. Were you frightened? Yes, I was frightened. I just hid and hoped they wouldn't find me. At least until he told me it was safe to come out. Truck, I require a moment to process this input. Let us move apart and discuss our findings. Get out of my circle. That's my circle. Flip. Processing data. Evaluating hypothesis against accumulated evidence. I offered an optimal analysis of each subject's testimony, each time their responses conflicted with my assessment. Without identifying the root cause of this conflict, I am unable to properly define what constitutes strength of heart. Perhaps the heart you see lies in the conflict itself? Interesting observation. It is possible my base criteria is an area. In which case, it is imperative that I continue this learning process and repair any fundamental misconceptions. Next, I wish to interact with an individual who endured similar circumstances to Khazal prior to his transformation. Are you acquainted with any local merchants who had dealings with him? Atsia! Oh, never mind. Sorry. That guy of fibers acknowledged. Sub-destination set. Atsia had dealings with him, and he almost transformed. I feel like he could have been a good... way. Also, while looking at the time, I don't think we're gonna be playing Phasmophobia. I think by the end of this, my voice is gonna be a little too hurting, and it's gonna be at least at the 2-hour mark. I can already feel my voice starting to... my throat's hurting. Well, look who it is. I must thank you again for helping in moving our textiles. Recovering from those tragic events has been difficult, of course. But with everyone pulling together, we've managed to get things back up and running. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Maybe I will. Jabaha? Janabaha? I come with questions related to that tragedy, specifically your survival of the final days. Although you are similar to Hazal in many respects, he succumbed to the transformation. You did not. Why? What is the crucial difference between you and him? What? I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not especially brave or courageous, if that's what you're asking. Perhaps being focused on protecting our workshop kept me from spinning into a panic. Still, I imagine Kazal would have been feeling the same sense of responsibility. Perhaps the weight of it all was what invited his demise. You were of the same mind, resolved to the same purpose. Yet your strength of heart, of spirit, was not equal. Merely emulating the individual is insufficient, then there is some other unseen factor that must be evolved. I am not to interrupt these deep philosophical musings, but do you think I could ask you a small favor? There's a man by the name of Nashvan who's been helping us out while he gets back on his feet. I have a feeling he'd benefit from speaking with you. Leave by the eastern exit and you should find him just outside, organizing some new inventory items. I'm not even going to pretend I know what north, east, west, and all that is. Directionally challenged. Follow the map. And he's collapsed. You kind of want to... hold on. Okay. Where's the wind-up Omega? I want to have two Omegas running around. I think that'd be funny. There's Alpha. Did I not get him? Or I did. Oh, yeah, there he is. Hehehehe. Double Omega power. That's not it. That was quite the neck pop. I heard that. That's all our orders accounted for, and everything looks to be of good quality. Kamala will be pleased. You were with the Scions. You were there. Yes, I'm sure of it. I'll never forget that day. You and your friends helped us escape. People began changing into beasts. My own son, he was afflicted. Then that huge monstrosity loomed right over him and... oh yeah, he was the one who was like... and then got killed and stepped on. I remember that. That was awesome. I remember my heart turning into ice, freezing in place. Satrap came to my aid. Then he too was gone. Yep. Ahawan. Memories run together in my mind like flashes from a nightmare. Only the words of your comrades still rings clear. I repeated them over like a mantra as I fled for my life. I must run, for their sake and your own. Say that? I don't think that's what Graha said at that point. But, okay. It all seems so surreal, which is probably what saved me from the transformation. The truth of it didn't begin to sink in until the worst of it was over. I had not the words to describe how I felt then. Sorrow, the overwhelming sense of helplessness. I may still be wallowing in misery. Not for my old friend. I'd lost my will to work, and he encouraged me with kind words and odd jobs. Now, somehow, I live again. I'm thankful to him, the courageous Ahawan, to you. If you see your comrades, please let them know their efforts were not in vain. I mean, they kind of already know that since the world isn't on fire still, but I understand this well enough. You said you lost your will to work. This signifies a cessation of efforts to maintain basic life functions, yes? What changed to extract you from that stagnation? Offer of work from that person could have meant little to one without the desire to accept it. Was it some manner of mortal instinct, a primal need to survive and thrive? Instinct? No, it wasn't like that. If anything, my instincts were telling me to lay down and welcome the end. The pain. Every day I think about my boy's final moments. I think of how scared he must have been, how it must have hurt. I wanted to scream my throat raw. Satrap, too, still haunts my dreams. Him being swallowed whole, the jolt awake in a cold sweat. Something changed when Ishbana came to me. I looked up and saw that, even without my son or Ahawan, the world around me continued to turn. Because that fact grieved me so, I knew it fell to me to live on, remember them. Or live on and remember. Strange, isn't it? What drives me to rise in the morning is the very sorrow that once crippled me. Now, I really must return to my work. To lose this job after everything I have just said would be a poor jest. May the sisters keep you well. Sorrow. The emotion generated by mortals when their ideals fail to materialize. This I have observed. Yet when I listen to Nashvan's sorrow served to rescue him from near fatal despondency, the logic eludes me. His logic eludes me. Am I incapable of perceiving the full measure of the heart's properties? My best projections fail to predict their subjects' responses, and despite their almost equal occupational and mental parameters, Ijabaha and Hazal exhibited different reactions to the dynamis effect. I am no closer to recognizing the pattern for involuntary transformations, and your ephemeral mortal spirit confounds me as much, if not more, than they did before. Have you considered that there is no pattern to the people afflicted? Bloop. No pattern? You imply that the transformation was not contingent on individual fortitude, but rather a random contribution of environmental factors? Such a theory would explain our otherwise conflicting data. Very well, I shall accept this provisional conclusion, this part of my investigation. I do, however, expect you to continue supplementing my education of heart-related matters. I mean, I ain't really got one myself, but... Our next destination will be Camp Broken Glass. I desire elaboration on the dealings between the Ilzabard contingent and the citizens of Garlemald. The report described the contingent's purpose as the salvation of the local populace. Furthermore, both factions faced the common enemy in the Telafori. Why did they not immediately combine the forces for their mutual benefit? This inconsistency requires closer examination. Crook, initiate teleportation. Got it. Initiating teleportation. Beep bop boop. Teleportation successful. Evaluating immediate environs. A cold weather region by Aether standards, but significantly less extreme than a star with ice planet classifications. This body should not be unduly impeded. In contrast to Alpha and his uncontrollable shivering, Ephraim appears highly resistant to low temperatures. Retrieving data. Recordings indicate that remnants of the contingent force and a number of Imperial citizens yet inhabit this location. We must speak with representatives from both factions and explore their respective attitudes. Let's proceed. Double Omega, hell yeah. Resistance delegate. Kruk? Come to see how things are progressing, have you? Oh yeah, that's the guy that handed Euless the cup of soup. Or stew, or whatever it was. Ain't nothing funny in it. I can't speak for the overall strategy, but communication with the locals has been a damn sight easier since Euless and his soldiers stepped in to help. Oh, we still face our fair share of distrust, of course. Some folk even think that we're enslaving the minds with our foreign magics. We have Anima to thank for putting that idea into their heads. But all things considered, I'd say we're doing pretty well. Establishing an open dialogue was the first big step. Query. You consider this level of progress acceptable? The reality of your efforts falls far short of the ideal. Your aim is to provide efficient succor to the local populace, and absorbing their numbers into your own command structure would be the optimal path. Oh, I wouldn't want to go that far. We're not looking to take over their nation. If we were to do this the right way, we need to recognize and respect each other's way of life. So while it might not be the easiest solution, I agree with the contingent's slow and steady approach. I'm just happy we're saving lives. Yeah, it makes sense. Omega came from a planet-conquering race. Shadow from the past? Yes, I know you from Victor's Spoils. Have you come to laugh at me? A wretch who chose to lose Lucina and her sister rather than accept your help? A fool who ended up reliant upon your charity nonetheless? Well, perhaps I deserve your derision. My compatriots surely scorn my failed conviction. I have shamed my people and brought dishonor upon my nation. I am no better than a kept beast, my pride sold for a bowl of feed. But my soul, nay, that you shall not have. I've refused your honeyed offers of a new home. This land is where I belong, and this is where I shall remain. Blip, you demonstrate opposition to the continued overture. On what basis do you refuse this cooperation? The data suggests the local populace is struggling to produce the bare minimum of sustenance. Have you some secret strategy for survival? Or do your orders compel you to accept your present misfortune? What? Must I be mocked by a Magitech toy now? No, I have no secret strategy, no binding orders. I but comport myself as any true Garlean patriot would, uncompromising, unbending. Blast it all. Once again, this input is unanticipated. Let us move aside and process what we have learned. Joink. I don't know why, I just love the teleport. So fun. I use it all the time. When I can. Even when I don't have to. Assessing and analyzing recorded data. Integration complete. I have evaluated the most recent input and made comparisons to our discoveries at Radzan. Consistent only in their inconsistency. The responses from both the contingent member and Imperial citizens are highly irrational. Firstly, any Omnicron considering their predicament would have echoed my assessment exactly. The divergence from self-evident logic is key. Hypothesis. The logical relationship between would-be savers and suffering populace is a result of the unpredictable nature of mortal hearts. Yep. Blip. Any property or ability to... Blip. Any property or ability has inherent advantages and disadvantages. Yet never have I encountered such a unique detriment. It appears that those who share your metaphysical capabilities are prone to complicating simple cognitive process. Undesirable quality, however. I will, however, persist in furthering my understanding of the subject. Yeah, you're too, Alpha. Query. Prior to formulating our next step, I wish to know who this Asuna Imperial mentioned. Ah, yeah. God, I love the Turncliffe theme. One of my favorite songs in this game. Acknowledged. To summarize, insufficient data on foreign culture resulted in inadvisable and ultimately fatal action. I witnessed such self-destructive behavior during the course of our planetary conquests. Overwhelmed enemy forces would voluntarily withdraw into perilous regions, leading to a succession of inevitable losses. Tangential data request. I wish to learn about the burial custom. Practice has ever seemed nonsensical, but new data suggests it arises from the same source of your cognitive complications. Take me to this Lucina's burial site. It may aid me to understand. Feeling sad. Oh no, he just off. Okay. Energy delivery system compromised. Core temperature critically low. Deep warning, immediate heating required. Request. Apply friction to outer frame. Rub some more. Rub-a-dub-dub. Mega, you're something. I don't know, I can't remember. Bloop bloop. Temperature nominal. Energy level stabilizing. The creators of this model must have experienced impaired cognitive reasoning during the design process. Upon our return, I will request additional climate shielding as well as an accurate temperature sensory array. This will not affect my combat capabilities, but should improve my basic survival rate. Reconfirming sub-destination. Which direction shall we find Victor's spoils? Flip acknowledged. Alpha, you are to remain in close proximity, close enough to envelop me in your feathers. You are permitted to carry me on your back if you so choose. Let's go. Yeah, this was very sad, but also just plain dumb. I understand where it comes from. I really do. But I'm with Omega on that one. That was a highly illogical. Granted, obviously they didn't know us. Restrained, but still. But that's life. I wonder if the radio still. I mean, I doubt the radio was actually. But I want to check. Nope, radio's gone. Silent here. Very strange. Why is it raining everywhere that I go? Look, a deceptively deep snowdrift almost defeated me, but we have successfully arrived at the location. Blip, caution advised. An unknown individual appears to be investigating the object of my interest. Hmm? You're Eorzea's champion. You crook? Alpha just, huh? Oh, I never introduced myself, did I? I am Manus, a soldier of the First Legion and comrade of Julius. Perhaps you remember me from Tirtham. We spoke about collecting ceruleum, and again later on, after Lord Quintus had passed. Oh, yeah, that guy. Gran, you could have just did that and I had no context and I would still believe that happened. And yes, explanation requested. What is the reason of your presence here? Let me guess, it's like the brother or something? That must be the tiniest Magitech weapon no. This is an oddly shaped communicator, isn't it? In any case, I have nothing worthy to report. I heard that the sisters who used to live in my sector were buried here, so I thought I'd come pay my respects. Alphino and Alize told me the story, complete with profuse apologies, though they were adamant that no amount of remorse could erase the tragedy of what came to pass. Not that my fellow soldiers and I are in any place to judge. We were manipulated, fooled into starting an insurrection which led to countless deaths among our own countrymen. Objection. The casualties incurred through infighting are distinct from those caused by the Hildibrand contingent. To restate, you are justified in seeking restoration from the contingent causing the deaths of his sister. Retaliation from damages sustained is also logical. I can introduce two reasons why you do not initiate hostilities with Kruk and his allies. 1. You judge your remaining forces too weakened to contend effectively with the contingent. 2. Your emotions complicating the issue. Tell me, which of these is correct? Probably both. Well, when you lay it out like that. I'm afraid my answer isn't like to win me any medals, so would you mind keeping this to yourselves? There's an unspoken thought that were outmatched on the battlefield, certainly. But the real reason I'm not demanding restitution has little to do with weighing the odds. Simple truth is I'm so caught up with simple survival that I have no strength to spare for past grievances. Same goes for avenging any comrades I've lost. Be that my brothers in arms or Lord Quintus himself. Although it seems everyone has an opinion about the manner of his passing, some say he should have fought unto the end, that he abandoned us to the enemy. Others praise him for taking the full burden of responsibility and freeing us to walk our own path. I don't know who's right and who's wrong, but I'm inclined to side with the latter. He gave us the choice of freedom, and that's the choice I've made. I could cry and rant and rage, but what would be the point? I'll save my energy for worrying about my next task. I need to focus on the ones left behind, on making some kind of life for my comrades and me. And if I need to lean on the contingent to do that, that's what I'll do. Even if their aid comes at a price, I'm willing to pay it. Even amongst your own, there are times when cooperation demands compromise. What matter that they're outsiders? Besides, I think I could grow to like Alphino and Alize. They've reached out to us with kindness and compassion from the very beginning. Summation, you desire to survive even should it mean allying with the contingent was a feeling you already harbored. That your side had committed worse atrocities was the logic you invented later to justify your reason. Blunt, but accurate, I suppose. The heart is honest about what it wants. even if the mind takes a while to reconcile the decision. Well, this has been oddly cathartic, but I must return to my duties. There are wild beasts to cull, fires to light, and supplies to transport. Even without an emperor, there's no rest for an imperial. Be well and stay safe. The good guy. But upon review of recent input, I have arrived at an unexpected conclusion. I have been formulating my assessments on the premise that it was man who commanded the strength of heart, but data suggests the opposite is true. Surge of spirit, of feelings, of emotions can entangle your thoughts to such a degree that even control over your own behavior is compromised. It seems a most counterproductive specification. This also explains why my interactions with mortal subjects have produced more confusion than clarification. It presents a formidable barrier to understanding. Objective? But my earlier hypothesis has been borne out. Suboptimal operation being conducted here is a result of emotionally compromised reason. I am ready to progress to my third and final query. I would learn more about those referred to as ancient. True that this group was a crucial factor of the final days, but the information contained in the report was insufficient to form an overview. The operative are creations of and are said to maintain repositories of their knowledge. By my calculations, the base of these moon dwellers would provide the best source of additional data. Teleport us to their burrow, Cook, preferably before my battery freezes. I'm sorry to do this again, but I also have to use the bathroom again really quickly, so I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Hoping to last until the quest was over, but doesn't seem to be the case. How was it? Flip, your teleportation spell was successful. We appear to have arrived at the location described as Bestway Burrow. An inspection of the technology in use would give me detailed insight into civilization. This body, however, lacks my previous frame's advanced observational functionality. I will require external assistance. Wipe off my glasses. No, it can't be. Oops. No. Oh, it is you. Oh, Crook, how I've missed you. What's this you've brought with you? The soft, feathery vision. We've been outfluffed. Pack up the moon. It's all over. Why bother with burrow-building bunnies when you could walk around with adorable avian engineer? Just bake me into a pie and be done with it. Expect our inventions. Wait, so you're not done with us? Haha, I wasn't truly worried, of course. I certainly wasn't about to roll myself into dough and dive into cooking away his new oven. Yeah, don't do that. Although I've heard rabbit stew can be... If a technical breakdown is what you need, then I am your culprit. As the resident atmospheric regulation expert, I can field a question or query you might care to pose. Flip, acceptable. I will employ this being to guide me around the facilities. Your presence is not mandatory. Even locked within my current chassis, I am still an autonomous construct that has endured hundreds of your life cycles. I am capable of completing this simple objective alone. Oh, we're gonna be hanging out with Alpha? Could be less reading for me, hopefully. Or is Alpha going with? Oh, never mind, they're done. Objective complete. You were helpful? Affirmative. I observed a representative across the section of the Loporrit's engineering capabilities. My guide required more time to confirm the answer to certain questions, but overall we made efficient progress. Conclusion. Extrapolating from the fraction of technology on display, the full spectrum of the ancients' advancements was, at a minimum, equivalent to a level 4 civilization, a fact which demands further investigation. Despite establishing near-ideal society, these beings nevertheless harbored a weakness which invited self-destruction. Studying them, I stand to gain a greater understanding of Stir's anomalous. Growing Way informed me that another type of ancient-made entity exists upon the satellite, the one they call the Watcher. I would speak to him. Let's go! Flip, and conserve your ether. We will ride on this Argos to our destination, as you have suggested. Getting tired of having 2 Omegas. Oh, my hotbar. Why am I looking for him there? I forgot about the teleporter. Yeah, that's my bad. I could be riding a mount. Bloop. Evidence detected. Creature identified as Argos refuses to acknowledge our presence. Hypothesis. Upon our arrival, Growing Way expressed concern that he had been outfluffed. This suggests the existence of a fluff-based hierarchy. My station in such a system would be predictably low, but Argos is adamant in ignoring even Alpha. Its fluffiness level is impossible to... You're the fluffiest of them all, dear Argos. Argos gives an exasperated snort before motioning to his back. He seemed to have permission to climb aboard. Oop, you have secured this creature's permission. Curious, you must have special standing in the fluffiness hierarchy. Wait, I have allowed myself to become distracted. Let us continue on to the Watcher at once. Oh, I thought he was going to be up. Makes sense he'd be sitting in his chair. I was bemused by the arrival of these small visitors, but I see they are companions of yours. What a rare thing for my abode to be thus crowded. How may I be of service to you? Hello, Watcher. My purpose here is to learn more about the ancients. I would know of their deeds, their philosophies, the very nature of their hearts. I would understand why the final days was visited upon my home star. It were the endeavor. There is another better suited to assisting you with that task. Perhaps you might favor us with a tale or two of the ancients you met during your travels. My fragmented memories would be a pale substitute for the clarity of your more recent experiences. Watcher is so tall. I was as tall as he. And I could be a raid boss. Good time to take a sip. Yes, I can envision every detail. Your meeting with Vana and Emmet Selk and Hildibrand. Methlodius. Sorrow, the determined Hermes. I am a creation of Heidelin. As such, I believed the age of the ancient fade and forgotten. If knowing that their memory lives so vividly within you brings me great joy, I pray you keep them close to your heart. They involve Emmet and Hildibrand, of course they're going to be close to my heart. At the time of your journey to the past, the one whose essence I embodied would have been a scholar at Aniter. A shame. Had you reason to go there, perhaps you might have met. As a man of learning, I was firmly friends with Vana. They spent long hours trading theories and debating the laws of the universe. I remembered joining her faction as the final days bore down upon us, and of the events surrounding that tragedy, all preciously. Island wished for the people of your age to decide their own path. Thus I suspected my recollection was by design. Yet even she could not cut away one persistent memory. I feel most distinctly his sadness at what has come to pass. that in becoming Heidelin's heart, Vana would forever stand apart from the people she so loved. If she were so resolved in her convictions, then he would share her sleepless vigil over the future yet to unfold. Thus was the vow he made to Vana as her transformation took hold. His fervent wish must have reached her in some fashion, for though his life was drained away by the summoning, he was reborn with a new form and a new purpose. I awoke as the Watcher of... As you heard, Crook, you felt, you thought, and seized for yourselves, have you brought full circle the saga which began. What you accomplished was no divine miracle, it was but the beacon of hope passed down from one generation to a succession of wishes, prayers reshaping the star into the world we knew you deserved. Of our deepest gratitude, I thank you not only as myself, but as the man I once was, on behalf of those who devoted themselves to Vana's vision. Deep Bloop. I understand the facts of your story, Ruck, but not how you have chosen to process them. On what grounds do you speak of Vana with such fondness? By sundering the world, she ultimately guided her kind of victory. Yet in doing so, she caused irreparable damage to... Full scale of that act is beyond calculation. It is evident, however, that it resulted in a protracted period of suboptimal experiment Selk and his brethren. Query: if the survival of your kind is the deciding factor in your evaluation, then should you not also admire Hermes' decision to subject man to a trial, forcing you to change or perish, as was the fate of countless civilizations before you? From my perspective, his determination was similar to that of the Omnicron's ancestors, those who first began trading flesh for machine, so that our people might stand against the onslaught of aggression from other races. It was an unprecedented attempt, accompanied by much failure and sacrifice. Their early experiments were crude, primitive. Had they not made those first advances, however, we would have remained vulnerable to our environment. Violence would have utterly consumed us. What of Emmett Selk himself? Judging by your retelling, he was a benevolent ally with a tragic fate. Yet I remember the years where my instruments fed me data from events across the entire star. During that time, I witnessed his Asian engineer multiple incidents of cataclysmic strife. These calamities, as you know them, were responsible for planet-wide destruction. A man whose endgame relied upon the extinction of all modern mortals must, by definition, be your worst enemy. I require an answer. As a being of heart and soul, how do you classify each of these pivotal figures? From your perspective, which of them was most justified in their actions? That is a hard one. This is the decision. Obviously, I'm not going to pick one person over the other. It's between the first choice and the last choice. All of them were justified in their own way. I think I understand. Seek a definitive answer, yet based on our experiences, Huck and I might develop very different opinions. In the same fashion, you are free to form your own thoughts on the matter. Do not be so swift to consider them without merit. not have my own thoughts on this. I assess each situation with the same logic pathways available to every Omicron. Even if 1,000 Omicrons were asked to analyze the same, would all return the same result, regardless of individual experience. There is not strength to be found in fractured and nonetheless, I find your input valuable, reporting data alongside. This conclusion of my investigation has the incomplete elements of the final day's report. I will reanalyze the accumulated information and examine the factors which led to Sir's incomprehensible. Let us return to the record. Do. This time I'll remember to fly. Ah, there you are. Right at the last moment. Your journey with Omega was properly educational, I hope. We'd planned to ask you about it all, the mystery transmission besides, but I'm afraid something urgent has come up. Seems one of our Ironwork associates had fouled up a job elsewhere, and Jesse needs Wedge and me to rush in to lend a hand. There's an airship already waiting for us in the harbor, in fact. Do you think you could escort us over there while we talk? Lip, acceptable. I'm fully capable of speech during ambulation? I figured you might be. Right, let's get a move on then. Ultima Thule. See, this is one thing I'm actually really upset about. I'm fine with the lyric version playing at the end of Endwalker for a while, but I really wish that the Zone's music would have transitioned back to this. Also, I missed that dialogue completely. I'm so sorry. I had mistakenly classified your intangible heart as an ability of some kind. An uncanny power that the Omicrons could neither learn nor even measure. Even now, its full nature yet eludes my comprehension. Based upon our investigations, however, I have decided to alter my definition. A phenomenon which influences one's interpretation of reality. That is as close as an answer that I have found. Not proceeding by itself anymore. Accordingly, Sir's actions upon the meeting of Meteon strongly indicate the presence of a heart. Sir did not follow routine logic, but formulated an independent assessment based upon the reality it felt. The best recourse for the Omicrons was to cease their expansion, terminate all function. I'm trying to avoid taking screenshots, but that was a nice one. Well, here's our ship. We need to be going, but first, I'll hold you to your bargain, Omega. Tom, you told us about that transmission from the flight logs. Flip acknowledged. I will uphold the terms of our agreement. The recording salvaged from the Ragnarok is a simple one. The message is so basic, in fact, that the time I spent listening to it may have resulted in net loss value. Shall I continue? Now you're just teasing. Tell us the message already. Acknowledged. Converting dialect coding to local language. To whoever receives this message out there in the vast reaches of the cosmos. To someone, I hope, who looks up at the stars with the same wistful gaze as mine. To you I say, forge ahead. May all our tomorrows be blessed with joy. Omega can't look up. Matches had no designated recipient. It lacks purpose. The concept of joy is overly abstract. The vocal publication of Manifest said joy is unrealistic in its optimism. Yet, based upon their expressions, my assessment of the transmission's value conflicts with its apparent impact. Still, I fail to understand you, sir. Your heart still confuses me. Was termination of everything the correct course? How did you arrive at this conclusion? Defies all my attempts at reasoning. But I was designed to evolve. If I continue to learn, the probability I eventually comprehend this phenomenon is greater than 0. I will put the dilemma of your decision aside for now. And continue my existence upon this distant star. As I dwell among these many life forms, so I will continue to piece together the complete shape of their mortal hearts. I must document their process. Okay, your contribution to my education is appreciated, Crook. Indeed, I have amassed a satisfying quantity of valuable data. Now that our negotiation business is complete, however, often I will return to traveling the world. Drawing on recent experience, I am confident we can expand the radius of our ventures by a significant margin. We need not limit ourselves to Eorzea. I am now familiar with Sharlayan, Razat Han, and I would also like to visit the freezing climes of Garlab. Neglect to instruct Biggs and Wedge to upgrade my climate shielding. Flip, I'll reroute my request to Deputy President Jesse. Engaging ambulation and parting salutations. Farewell, Crook. Bye, Alpha. Alpha gives a vigorous shake and draws forth a scrap of paper from under its wing. Way. It seems he wants you to have it. Perhaps this is his way of thanking you. Oh, nice. Flip. Swiftly, Alpha. The road is long and we have barely begun our journey. Cool. We'll go look at that real quick before we end the stream. Load together. Where would that? Ah, there we are. Oh, it's this version of Flow. Okay. Well, that's it. We did the Hildibrand and we did the Omega quests. That's all for me. Took me about 40 minutes longer than I expected. So yeah. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Later.